ever ordered a safe Canadian beer because it's the one everyone knows, and then it tastes like nothing? Yeah, some of Canada's biggest labels are coasting on reputation, while a few underdogs taste significantly better. In this video, I'm ranking 10 famous Canadian beer brands, from worst to best. Watch to the end because number 1 isn't the one most people would guess. 10. Coors Light. If you're looking for something that's easy to drink, you've likely grabbed a Coors Light. It's one of the most popular beers in Canada, often found in fridges at parties and sports events. But when you break it down, what's really going on with Coors Light? First off, let's talk about ingredients. Coors Light uses barley, corn, and rice. The barley gives it some body, while the corn and rice are used to make it lighter and smoother. Sounds pretty standard, right? That's because it is. This beer has low alcohol content, only about 4.2% ABV, which makes it easy to drink but doesn't give you the punch that many other beers do. But here's the catch. While Coors Light is refreshing and light, it lacks any real flavor complexity. Sure, it doesn't taste bad, but is it exciting? Not really. And because it's so light, it doesn't offer much in terms of health benefits either. The lack of nutrients and high levels of processed ingredients can make it harder on your body in the long run. Is it harmful? Not in moderation, but it can be empty calories with little to no nutritional value. If you're having a few, you're probably fine, but the more you drink, the more those calories add up. So, it's a beer that keeps you hydrated, but not much else. Ready for something a little bolder? Let's move on. 9. Sleeman Honey Brown. Have you ever tried Sleeman Honey Brown? If you like a sweet beer, then this one might be up your alley. It's brewed with real honey, giving it that sugary, sweet flavor that stands out. It's got a rich amber color and is smooth on the palate. But here's the question, does all that sweetness come at a price? First, let's dive into the ingredients. Sleeman Honey Brown uses barley, honey, and yeast. The honey is the main attraction here, creating a smooth, malty body that's very approachable for people who are just getting into beer. The honey sweetness is evident throughout, but here's the issue. It's too sweet for some, especially if you prefer a more bitter or hoppy beer. And, let's not forget, that sweetness means there's more sugar involved, which can add extra calories. Now, while Sleeman Honey Brown isn't outright harmful, it's not the healthiest choice either. The extra sugar content can be detrimental if you're consuming a lot of it regularly. Plus, that sweetness masks any complex malt character the beer could have. If you're looking for a beer with a bold, distinct taste, this one might leave you feeling unsatisfied. Is it bad for your health? If you're drinking in moderation, it's okay. But drinking too much of this sweet, syrupy beer could be harmful in the long run. It's sweet on the tongue, but doesn't provide much in the way of beer flavor or quality. Ready to check out a beer with more character? Let's keep going. 8. Alexander Keith's IPA. Let's talk about Alexander Keith's IPA. The name itself carries a lot of weight in Canada. Founded in 1820, Keith's has a long history, and when it comes to beer, that's a big deal. But when you take a sip of their IPA, do you get the same satisfaction you'd expect from a real IPA? The truth is, Keith's IPA doesn't pack the punch that most true IPAs do. Real IPA lovers are all about hops. Bold, bitter, and aromatic hops. But Keith's, well, it's more mild than anything. It has a bit of malty sweetness to it, but the bitterness is nowhere near what you'd find in a true IPA. Now, about the ingredients. It uses barley, hops, and yeast, but the hops here are subtle. So subtle, in fact, that they're almost overshadowed by the maltiness. That makes it a gateway IPA for people who aren't ready for the aggressive flavors of a full-blown IPA. However, this lack of hop bitterness can be a letdown for those who expect a strong hoppy flavor. It is not really harmful. It's still a beer with some alcohol content, around 5% ABV. So it's not the worst choice. But for those who are looking for flavor and complexity, Keith's just doesn't live up to the IPA standard. If you want something with a little more character, you may want to skip this one. Let's see what's next. 7. Kokanee Lager. If you've ever had Kokanee Lager, you know it's got a refreshing crispness that's hard to beat. This one hails from the Kootenay Rockies, and that fresh mountain water they use to brew it gives it that signature clean taste. But does it stand out in a crowded market full of lagers? Kokanee uses barley, hops, yeast, and of course, mountain spring water. The fresh water makes all the difference here. It gives the beer that clean, crisp finish that makes it easy to drink on a warm day or boldness. It falls short. It's a solid lager, but doesn't offer anything groundbreaking. Is Kokanee harmful? Not really. Like many light lagers, it's a moderate ABV beer with no real harmful effects if consumed in moderation. However, it does have less flavor depth than some of the bolder craft beers out there. If you're looking for a more robust beer experience, this might feel a little one-dimensional, but if you're after a drinkable beer that's refreshing, Kokanee's got you covered. Let's see if the next contender can offer more. 6. Labatt Blue. Labatt Blue is one of those beers you see everywhere in Canada, and for good reason. It's been around since 1951. It's a classic Pilsner, and when you're looking for a beer that's light, crisp, and refreshing, it fits the bill. But let's be honest, does it still have the same appeal it did when it first hit the shelves? Labatt Blue's ingredients are pretty simple. Barley, hops, water, and yeast. It's got that malt sweetness and subtle hop bitterness that many people love. But here's the thing. This beer doesn't have the edge or complexity that some of the newer craft beers have. It's definitely approachable, but that's kind of where it ends. It's a low-calorie, moderate ABV beer, so there's no significant harm in drinking it. However, if you're after something with a unique flavor profile, Labatt Blue might leave you wanting more. It's reliable, yes, but isn't exactly going to leave a lasting impression on your taste buds. If you're after something with a bit more boldness, it's time to move on. Let's get to the next beer. If you're still watching, remember to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on a single ranking. 5. Molson Canadian. Molson Canadian is an absolute Canadian classic, and it's one of those beers you just can't ignore. But here's the question. Does it live up to its iconic status in 2023? Molson Canadian uses barley, hops, water, and yeast. The basics, right? But what makes it stand out is its smooth, easy-to-drink nature. It's balanced, with a mild malt sweetness and subtle hops that make it very approachable. But here's the rub. Molson Canadian doesn't offer much in the way of complex flavors. It's not the kind of beer that's going to blow your mind. As long as you're drinking it in moderation, Molson Canadian is pretty much harmless, but it's definitely a safe choice for those who want a classic, non-adventurous beer. If you're seeking something more bold or flavorful, Molson Canadian might leave you feeling like something's missing. So how does it compare to the rest? Let's find out. 4. Big Rock Traditional Ale. Let's talk about Big Rock Traditional Ale. Brewed in Calgary, Alberta, this classic English-style ale is a step up from the usual lagers and pilsners. It offers a rich malt profile with nutty, toasty flavors and subtle caramel hints. It's more balanced than the sweeter honey-based beers we've seen so far, with just enough bitterness to keep it interesting. While it's a dependable choice, Big Rock Traditional Ale doesn't bring the complexity or craft appeal that some newer brewers deliver. It's safe, reliable, and easy drinking, exactly what some beer drinkers crave. But for those looking for bold flavors or risk-taking brews, it might feel a little too cautious. At a moderate 5% ABV, it's fine in moderation, though it lacks the vibrancy some beer enthusiasts expect from craft beers. Still, it's perfect for those who enjoy a more traditional experience. 3. Red Racer IPA. Next up is Red Racer IPA, a true craft beer from Central City Brewers in Surrey, British Columbia. This IPA brings bold Citra hops that deliver a citrusy, piney punch with a balanced bitterness. It's approachable for IPA newbies with a sweet malt backbone to balance the bitterness. At 6% ABV, it's a great choice for those seeking a flavorful IPA without going overboard. While it might not be the most intense IPA out there, it hits all the right notes for a well-rounded, drinkable option. But does it have enough complexity to stand out in the competitive craft beer scene? Let's find out next. 2. La Fin du Monde. Let's talk about La Fin du Monde. If you've never tried it, you're in for a treat. Brewed by Unibrew in Quebec, La Fin du Monde is a Belgian-style triple that has earned its place as one of Canada's finest craft beers. With layers of complexity and a rich, fruity flavor, it's a beer that stands out for all the right reasons. La Fin du Monde is brewed with barley, wheat, and hops, but it also includes coriander and orange peel, giving it a distinctive, spicy, fruity finish that you won't find in many other Canadian beers. The high ABV, around 9%, means it's strong, but the flavor is so well balanced that it doesn't feel like a heavy hitter. It's smooth and delicate, with notes of banana, spice, and a hint of citrus. But why is it ranked here, but it's also a bit niche? The Belgian-style approach isn't for everyone, especially if you prefer something lighter or more refreshing. But if you're looking for a complex beer with depth and elegance, La Fin du Monde absolutely delivers. Its higher alcohol content means it's something to enjoy in moderation. It's a craft masterpiece that should be savored, not chugged. But what's the top contender, the beer that completely redefines what Canadian brewing can do? Let's get to it. 1. Péché Mortel. And now, the beer that redefines the entire Canadian beer scene, Péché Mortel. Brewed by Dieu du Ciel, a Montreal-based brewery, Péché Mortel is one of the best stouts you'll ever drink. It's rich, bold, and packed with intense flavors that make it stand out not just in Canada, but globally. This stout is brewed with coffee, chocolate, and roasted malt, giving it a smooth, rich flavor profile that's like sipping on liquid dessert. It's got a big punch with an ABV of 9.5%, so it's not messing around. The coffee bitterness combined with the smooth malt and dark chocolate notes makes it a sipping beer, something you take your time with. But what really sets Péché Mortel apart is its complexity. Unlike many beers that focus on being refreshing or easy to drink, this one is about depth. It's not just a stout, it's a beer that tells a story in every sip. For those who love bold flavors and want a beer that challenges them, Péché Mortel is the gold standard. Well, with its higher ABV and rich flavors, it's definitely something you enjoy in moderation. But as far as beer goes, Péché Mortel is a masterpiece. So, what's the future of Canadian brewing? Let's find out. If any of these beers shocked you, let us know in the comments. And if you're hungry for more beer rankings and stories, hit that subscribe button. We've got plenty more to explore, and you won't want to miss what's coming.